Hello and welcome to Sports 360 Degree on DD India, your weekly dose of all the major sporting events making headlines across the globe. This week, we take you on a thrilling journey from French Alps, where excitement builds for the 2023 Winter Olympics, to the dramatic UEFA Champions League week. Also, explore India's squad for the month-long tour of South Africa. In T20 format, India surpassed Pakistan to become the team with the most wins. In other major international updates, Namibia and Uganda qualify for the ICC T20 World Cup 2024. Also, major talking points from the National Youth Leadership Summit on inclusion and diversity. But first up, the cover story you're tracking this week. The International Olympic Committee has named the French Alps as its preferred host for the 2023 Winter Olympics, with Salt Lake City set for 2034. It means France will likely to host 2 games within the space of 6 years, with Paris staging the Summer Olympics in 2024. The bid appears to have beaten efforts from Sweden and Switzerland. More in this report.
France's 2030 Winter Olympics bid and Salt Lake City's 2030 proposal were picked as preferred host and will undergo into the dialogue with the International Olympic Committee. The IOC on Wednesday stated that the bid leaders will intensify talks with the IOC, fleshing out plans and state support with the Olympic governing body to decide on the 2030 and 2034 host at its session in July 2024.
The Executive Board today followed the recommendation of the Future Host Commission to invite the French Alps and Salt Lake City, Utah, into respective targeted dialogues to host the Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games 2030 and 2034. So we recommend a double allocation for the next winter editions. The IOC will now start more detailed discussions with the preferred hosts, led by their NOCs, with the aim to award the 2 editions at the 142nd IOC session in July in Paris.
The French bid scored points for its plan to host the Games in the 4 separate clusters, as well as for its strong support from the public and private sector.
In addition, the IOC Executive Board decided to grant the non-edition specific project Switzerland 23X a special status by inviting it into privileged dialogue for the Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games 2038.
Salt Lake City had initially wanted to bid for the 2030 Games, but dropped plan due to its being too close to the 2028 Summer Games in Los Angeles. It is not the first time in recent years that IOC had sought long-term security with a double allocation, having picked Paris 2024 Summer Games and LA for the 2028 edition back in 2017.
French Alps and Salt Lake City have to do the homework. If the homework is done, the bid will come to the IOC session and there will be the final decision.
Switzerland and Sweden had also expressed interest in hosting the 2030 Games and was invited to a privileged dialogue for the 2038 Winter Games, with the bid to working with the IOC until 2027, when a decision for a preferred host will be taken.
Meanwhile, Paris Olympics are just 8 months away and the celebrations are already in place for the event. Ahead of the gala event, Paris City Hall's Christmas illuminations were unveiled, paying tribute to upcoming Paris Olympics. Let's take a look at this report that tells you more.
Much awaited Paris 2024 Olympics are just around the corner, and the preparations are in full swing for this mega multi-sporting event. Ahead of the gala event, Paris City Hall's Christmas illuminations were unveiled on Tuesday, paying tribute to the colours and symbols of Paris 2024 Olympic Games that kick off in 8 months' time from now. The reveal took place in Christmas Village in front of Paris City Hall in the presence of Paris Mayor, IOC President, IPC President and Paris 2024 Organising Committee's President. While the new look at the City Hall will be in place until the end of the Paris 2024 Games, the travel and accommodation facilities are also gearing up for smooth operational execution during the event. Ahead of the event, French Capital Region's president confirmed that the Paris metro ticket prices will almost double during 2024 Olympics. However, residents with passes would be shielded from temporary rise and visitors would be charged a fair price.
Nous allons mettre beaucoup de transports supplémentaires pour que les Jeux...
We will have more transport offerings so that the games be accessible for everyone by public transport, and this has a cost. I committed to the residents of the Paris region that they won't be the ones paying for the cost of these extra public transport offering during the Olympics, but the visitors. That is why those who have subscriptions will not be impacted at all by these tariff increases. And we advise Paris region commuters to buy their tickets before July 20 so as not be impacted by this increase.
Avant le 20 juillet, de façon à ne...
The Olympics will be held from the 26th of July and will go on until the 11th of August 2024, while the Paralympics will take place from the 28th of August and will go on till the 8th of September 2024 in France, where top athletes from around the world will vouch for the golden medal. Sports Desk, DD India.
Now shifting focus to football, two late goals by 19-year-old Nico Paz and Joselu gave Real Madrid 4-2 win against Napoli in UEFA Champions League. With this, Los Blancos secured the top spot in the Champions League Group C with one round of matches remaining. The 14 times champion, who had already secured qualification to the last 16, maintained their 100% record and have 15 points from 5 games, 8 points ahead of the Italian champions. Meanwhile, Manchester United goalkeeper Andre Onana made 2 bad errors as host Galatasaray twice fought back from 2 goals down to on a thrilling 3-3 draw on Wednesday and leave the English side's hopes of reaching the Champions League last 16 hopes in serious doubt. The end-to-end match saw 17 shots for United and 16 for Galatasaray, many in the dying minutes as both sides pushed for victory. Fernandes had a good chance to score the winner, but his 85th minute effort struck the post.
I take many positives of this game. In some stages we play like I wanted my team to play. It was enjoyable to watch them, and so proactive, dynamic and brave, and we scored great goals. And even after we had some setbacks, we kept going till the end, because in the end we should have won as well with the big chances from Scott McTominay and Pellistri. So yeah, of course I'm disappointed, because we should have managed the game better. It would be more frustrating if we play poor, but the performance is very good, and it's enjoyable to watch how we dictating game, how we creating the chances. That is actually fantastic. But now we have, and it's more, you can sort better the management of the game out than you start playing football.
Another English club, Man City, claimed the top spot in Champions League Group G after beating RB Leipzig 3-2. Julian Alvarez scored in the 87th minute as the European champions clawed their way back from 2 goals down to take the lead. Erling Haaland and Phil Foden also netted in the second period after one of the City's most underwhelming recent first-half performances to give Pep Guardiola's team 15 points after 5 games. The 23-year-old Erling Haaland also became the fastest to score 40 Champions League goal with his strike in the 54th minute. 3 days earlier, Haaland had become the fastest to net 50 Premier League goals with a 1-1 draw against arch rivals Liverpool. Meanwhile, Kylian Mbappe struck a home penalty in the 8th minute of the stoppage time to earn a 1-1 draw against Newcastle United and kept their Champions League destiny in their own hands. Due to Alexander Isak's first Champions League goal, the visitors led the Group F clash Since midway through the opening half, PSG had more than 30 goal attempts, but Newcastle left them on the brink of a second group defeat after a 4-1 score by Newcastle. Although Mbappe's cool finish means the loss only means their last 36 group stage matches in the competition at home. Both PSG and Newcastle will have to face formidable teams to guarantee for themselves a place in the last 16 of the Champions League. Now shifting focus to cricket, India defeated Australia to complete a T20 series victory in Raipur. A career best of 46 from Rinku Singh helped India post 174-9 despite Ben Darvish's taking 3 for 40. Australia, who won the third T20 on Tuesday, got off to a flying start thanks to informed Travis Head, who smashed 31 of 16 balls. However, India's spinners applied the squeeze, and despite Matthew Wade's late hitting, Australia fell short. Wade smashed 36 of 23 balls, but India's 20-run win means they go 3-1 up in the series with 1 to play. The final match of the series will be played in Hyderabad on Sunday. With this, India becomes the team with the most wins in the format. Out of the 213 T20 internationals India have played since their debut in the format in 2006, they have emerged victorious in 136 matches with 67 losses and 1 tie. The Board of Control for Cricket in India has announced India's squad for the month-long tour of South Africa. Rohit Sharma will lead the team in the Test series, while KL Rahul will take over the captaincy reins during the ODI leg of the tour, and Suryakumar Yadav will lead in T20 international side. Hardik Pandya, who lead India in 11 T20s in 2023, is nursing an ankle injury he picked in the recently concluded ODI World Cup. Sanju Samson has been picked for the ODI team. Rajat Patidar, who recovered from the injury, finds a place in the ODI setup. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli and pacer Jasprit Bumrah have been rested for the white ball series. There is no place for Ajinkya Rahane and Cheteshwar Pujara. And Bumrah has been named vice captain for the Test series. Pacer Mukesh Kumar and Prasidh Krishna find a place in the 5-day format. India is all set to play a 3-match T20 and ODI series along with 2-match Test series as a part of their WTC cycle. Now staying with cricket, Namibia and Uganda's cricket teams secured spots in the 2024 International Cricket Council Men's T20 World Cup after impressive victories in Africa qualifier. The regional finals included 7 teams competing for 2 Africa qualifying spots for the World Cup next year. Namibia had a perfect record of 5 wins from 5 games during the qualifiers, while Uganda cruised to a 9-wicket victory over Rwanda to secure the final African spot. The 9th edition of the Men's T20 World Cup will be held for the first time in the West Indies and USA, with 20 teams including 11 full members and 9 associate members of ICC taking part. Namibia will feature in its 3rd successive World Cup following 2021 and 2022 editions, while Uganda will be qualifying for the first time. The Board of Control for Cricket in India announced the extension of contracts for head coach Rahul Dravid and as well as the support staff. Rahul Dravid had been serving as head coach for Team India for the past 2 years. His contract expired this month after the recently concluded ICC Men's ODI World Cup. During the period when Dravid was out of contract, VVS Lakshman took up the role of stand-in head coach. Lakshman is head coach for the India in the ongoing 5-match T20 International Series against Australia. Lakshman also heads National Cricket Academy. Dravid will take the helm again as the head coach for India's tour of South Africa. Now some stories from the Special Olympics. Special Olympic Bharat President Dr. Mallika Nadda led the National Youth Leadership Summit at Amity University in Noida, a city in India's northern state of Uttar Pradesh. The objective of the summit was to foster leadership qualities in athletes with intellectual disabilities. Panelists including A. Srija, Pam Rolnick discussed the inclusive initiatives. During the summit, Dr. Mallika Nadda thanked Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for recognizing Special Olympic Bharat athletes in Mann Ki Baat program, emphasizing national commitment.
In a significant stride towards fostering diversity and inclusion, The president of Special Olympics Bharat, Dr. Malika Nadda, graced the National Youth Leadership Summit held at Amethi University in Noida. The summit, attended by youth leaders representing 20 states, aimed to cultivate leadership qualities among athletes with intellectual disabilities. Dr. Malika Nadda expressed gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for recognizing Special Olympics Bharat athletes in his program Man Ki Baat.
Take this opportunity to thank our Honorable Prime Minister, who in his Man Ki Baat mentioned Special Olympics Bharat, its performance in the World Summer Games Berlin, where our athletes could bring 200 medals with gold, silver and bronze, where the participation of our athletes was 198 with 100 schools, where we are giving the message of inclusion through sports.
Event also stressed on the importance of education and unified sports as powerful tools for nurturing leadership skills among individuals facing intellectual challenges. Distinguished panelists including A.S. Rija, Economic Advisor, Department of School Education and Literacy, Government of India, Pam Ronik, Manager, Youth Initiatives, Asia Pacific Region, and Jayanti Pujari, Dean, Faculty of Rehabilitation Sciences, Amethi Institute of Rehabilitation Sciences, shared their insights on building a more inclusive society.
Physical education teachers can be shared. Sports equipment we are giving on a recurring basis. Sports equipment is funded under Samagra Shiksha. So what we need is the resource, ma'am, the human resource for coaching. That is the one which we may not get in schools.
The analysis says that the young athlete program has significantly impacted the young children with intellectual disability to promote their motor behavior, to reduce their behavior challenges, then their promoting social inclusion among the community.
The event also showcased the diverse talents of special children. They mesmerized all with their dancing and singing skills, emphasizing the importance of embracing and celebrating inclusion. This resonated with the summit's core objective of promoting inclusion and breaking barriers for individuals with intellectual disabilities. Narayan Singh's report, DD India.
On the sidelines of the National Youth Leadership Summit in India, Dr. Malika Nadda, the president of the Special Olympic Bharat, said that the organization is leaving no stone unturned for the welfare of athletes with intellectual disabilities. In an exclusive interaction with DD India, the president of the Special Olympic Bharat extended gratitude to all stakeholders working for the cause of athletes with intellectual disabilities. Today we are joined by the president of the Special Olympic Bharat, Dr. Malika Nadda, who is working tirelessly for the cause of athletes with intellectual disability. A very warm welcome, ma'am. And the event like the National Youth Summit Leadership Program, how these events are helping the cause of the athletes with intellectual disabilities.
Thank you very much. I am very grateful to Doordarshan for time and again creating awareness for Special Olympics Bharat and for our special athletes who are not only our sports persons, not only athletes, but they are leaders in themselves. And to send this message of leadership, programs like Youth Summit, Youth Leadership Summit has been organized in Amethi, where 20 states are being represented. And from the 20 states, we have got athlete leaders, we have got youth leaders and their mentors who are here for a 3-day summit where they'll be discussing the future of our athletes and also the activities and how our youth leaders can express themselves and be leaders in their own manner.
Recently, we saw that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi mentioned the name of the Special Olympic Bharat athletes in the Man Ki Baat program, and also the president of the International Special Olympics. He also mentioned, he also praised the Special Olympic Bharat efforts. As an individual, how these things drives you as an individual to go ahead and just work tirelessly for these athletes?
We are really honored and we are grateful to Honorable Prime Minister for mentioning Special Olympics Bharat and discussing about our special athletes and their talent and creating a great awareness for our Special Olympics program. And it is really true that when we get encouragement from our leaders, from the head of our country, it is motivating to work for our specially abled athletes. And it was a great day for us when our Honorable Prime Minister mentioned the achievement of our special athletes in the World Summer Games Berlin, where we came back with 200 medals. And this is the achievement which helps us to work in this field and which also motivates people like me and also the parents and also the sports persons to work for the specially abled athletes who have talent and they can achieve. So these two important things, their talent needs to be developed and they can achieve something in life is very important part of Special Olympics Bharat.
Ma'am, when you talk about the athlete with special disability, a lot of effort is required for that. If you talk about when you go for a foreign tour for the events like the Special Olympics, then a lot of management work is required, like hold just their passport and all other things, their visas you have to look after. So how difficult it for you to bring all the stakeholders under one umbrella, and what motivates you for this?
It is a Herculean task to take specially abled and specially intellectually challenged for the World Games. And the big number we take and the quota we get for Special Olympics Bharat is huge. So in World Summer Games Berlin, we had 200 athletes participating and a delegation of 256. So like bringing all of them together for passport, for getting all the paperwork done, for collecting the documents, it is difficult. But of course, with the support of the government, with the support of the Ministry of External Affairs, with the support of the Sports Department, Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs, who fund the travel and also the training part for our special athletes, we can achieve the aim and we can achieve the objective of Special Olympics. So I would also take this opportunity to thank Honorable Sports Minister Anurag Thakurji, Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs for supporting Special Olympics Bharat program through the department as a sports federation. And also I would like to thank Ministry of Foreign Affairs for giving us all the facilities of visas and supporting us. So it is a coordinated effort which helps us to manage these specially challenged athletes and to take them for the World Games and other international activities.
So here we listen to Dr. Malika Nada, who is saying that the way they are working to bring all the stakeholders under one umbrella and how they are working for a more inclusive society in India. In the coming times, we will see that their efforts will help us and help basically the athletes with intellectual disability to make a mark on the world map. With camera person Monty, Narayan Singh for DD India, Noida. Now shifting focus to tennis. Former tennis world #1 Rafael Nadal will return at the Brisbane International Warm-Up event for the Australian Open in January. The 22-time Grand Slam champion was absent from the courts for almost a year with a hip injury. He has not played a competitive match since bowing out in the second round of this year's Australian Open when hampered by a hip injury flexor problem. Nadal will try to return to the highest level in Australia with the aim of competing at the French Open, which he has won a record 14 times. He has been overtaken in the number of Grand Slam tournaments won by Serbian world #1 Novak Djokovic, who now has 24 major titles. Meanwhile, India's Sheetal Devi becomes the #1 in the latest ranking released by the World Archery, while Sarita Devi is at the 6th place. Recently, the Asian Paralympic Committee in Saudi Arabia also declared her as the best youth athlete of the year. Sheetal Devi was the first Indian to get this prestigious award. In the latest ranking release, Sheetal claimed the top spot, while Jane Carla Jorgel of Brazil was second on the list. Sheetal is the first female archer without arms in the compound category. India's Abhishek Verma is at the third place. So that's all in this edition of Sports 360 Degree. We hope you enjoyed the highlights and analysis of the latest sporting events. Make sure to tune in again next week for more exciting action from the world of sports. Until then, stay healthy and keep cheering for your favorite teams. Namaskar.